Hey everybody,
Hi,
welcome to Tuesdays in the Shop. Uh,
I'm
let's.
Andrea.
I'm Yvette. But before we start, let's do our usual sound check.
Yes.
If you
Oh, we can't
can,
see their comments.
right? I gotta click the comment one. You can see that there's 12 people on right now. Thanks for joining
Yay.
us. Please, somebody tell me if you can hear us because
We never know.
reasons.
We
There are
think you can.
reasons. Yeah, my little uh, there's a green indicator that shows the voice,
The volume.
but
It's lied
not
to us in the
always
past.
right.
So we don't trust it. We want to hear from you.
Yeah. So
Make
somebody just
sure.
type, yes, we can hear you.
Yay. Thanks, Lori.
Lori, thank you. Okay, now we can really start.
Yes. So again, I'm
I
Andrea.
just kicked the camera.
This is Yvette. Stop kicking the camera. And we're in Gotham Quilts. And we're going to show you some new stuff today. I hope you are excited. We're excited.
So if you have heard about it, there's this thing called Row by Row. It's been running for, I don't know, 10 years now.
Longer than we've been in business.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't know what it is, Row by Row is this summer promotion that a shop upstate in New York actually came up with as a fun activity in the summer, because so many of us take road trips and travel all over the country in the summer or even internationally. And as quilters, we always visit the local quilt shops, right? No matter where we go. I know I go and visit quilt shops. I go and visit knitting stores, museums. Like that's like my category of stuff that I do. And lots of us do the same thing. When we go to a new city, we check out the stores.
I mean, we have almost every other person that walks in the door. I'm from Montana.
Yeah.
I'm from Washington State.
So like New York gets a ton of tourists, right?
Yeah,
so
we love it.
Wherever you're going this summer, you can look up shops that are participating in the Row by Row program, which is a group of stores that have signed up to play basically during the summer with a cohesive theme. Each store designs their own row, which is a 6-inch tall by 9-inch tall by 36-inch long row.
Yes.
It's a block, but it's like a long, skinny block.
Right.
And there's a theme. This year, the theme is summertime. In the past, the themes have been things like Home Sweet Home or
So musical.
Yeah, so musical,
taste.
but SEW.
One of them was a taste of something. I don't remember exactly. Taste of Home or something.
Yeah, what was that one called? It was Taste something.
Yeah.
So every year there's a theme. So the idea is that you would go around wherever you're going on your travels, and you'd hop into the stores that are participating, which is on the Row by Row website, which I'll link to in the comments later. And you walk in and you say, can I have a Row by Row pattern?
And the patterns are free
during the summer.
Promotional period.
If you walk into one of the participating stores, you can say, can I have a pattern? And we will hand you a pattern, and you follow the instructions and you make a row. And there's actually a contest involved too. If you collect 8 rows from 8 different stores and you sew them into a finished quilt that is bound and labeled, and then you bring it back to a participating store, you win a prize if you're the first one.
Yes, so the first one to come in with a completed quilt.
Most people don't actually do that part of the promotion, just so you know.
25 fat quarters, I think, is the prize.
I think the prize is 25 fat quarters, yeah. But truthfully, most people don't do that part. They do the part where they're collecting the rows, and maybe they make a couple of them for gifts, or maybe they turn them into pillows or whatever it is. Most people don't try to win the prize and actually put them all together.
I think we've only given away 1 prize in all the years we've done it.
I think there was 2,
you're right.
and it was the same winner.
Yes, that's right.
It was Lori.
She did it twice.
Yep. Yeah, there's not that many people to compete with. So if you want
at least in our store. I think in other stores there is a bigger competition.
Yes, that's true. It could be.
But since a lot of our customers are tourists, they come and they get their patterns and then they leave.
Right.
So we generally don't have a big competition, but I know in some places they do.
So if you've never won anything and you want to win something, you could try to win this. You have a pretty good chance.
Yeah,
so
odds are good.
What did we design this year? Our theme was summertime. And of course, we always make it New York, right?
Yes,
like the whole point is we're in New York.
Yeah.
Would you like to do the honors of showing our row?
Okay. So Yvette actually chose the image for this one. What do New Yorkers do in the summertime?
Sweat.
That and hang out in the park. So Central Park is our biggest and best here. So this is a picture of Central Park. We've got some people having a picnic and reading a book and playing Frisbee over here on the grass with all of the big buildings in the background. So we'll bring it up a little bit so you can see some of and there's a little splotch there because I had to use our little picnickers here. So this block is mostly traditionally pieced.
Yep.
All of the buildings.
Most of the
Yeah.
piecing is regular piecing.
So the grass and the buildings in the sky are all regular piecing, and then just the tree line is appliqued, and these little picnic people are appliqued.
And did you end up doing this as like kind of an improv tree thing?
A little bit. They're in the pattern. It does kind of show you how to do it, but you don't have to follow this exactly. You could just improv it. You could also improv the buildings and the grass too, honestly, if you like more of an improv-y look as opposed to like, exact rectangles and right angles. You could make it a little wonky and have even more fun with it. Would be totally fine too.
The thing that Andrea invented for our rows, well, I mean, invented might be too strong a word, but the thing that we wanted always to add some details to our rows. And most of our customers do not want to be piecing, 1/8 of an inch wide.
I certainly
strips.
don't. This little girl is like half an inch.
It's the size of your thumb, It's
exactly. Not even.
How did we solve this problem?
So this was actually not my idea. This was one of our Genius employees. Since we were piecing the grass anyway, I just printed a rectangle for each of these tiny, tiny little people so that you can just piece it along with all the other grass pieces.
And this bigger...
This is a traditional raw edge applique. So put the fusible on the back, ironed it on. Well, put the fusible on the back, cut around it, and then ironed it on. Done. So easy. And I have a little sample here. We've already gotten our pieces printed. So here you go. You can see. So this is the full block for each of these girls, and then another extra block just so it looks balanced. It's over here somewhere.
So backing up,
yes,
what Andrea has added to our rows, and this is true for almost all of our designs that are this detailed.
I can't do anything simple.
We're always trying to simplify because we're trying not to scare everybody.
Yeah.
So a way that we came up with to simplify adding the detail is that Andrea designed, and we had printed on fabric.
Yes, this is a printed
quilted cotton, quilting cotton, regular solid cotton. She designed and printed these pieces. They come in the kit to make this row.
Yes.
And you just cut it out and you piece it back together. For the applique part, you put the fusible on, then cut it out, and then fuse it on.
Right.
Lori says this is the best row by row block she's seen so far. Thanks, you, Lori. And that's the Lori that won.
Yeah. So that's good.
She's a row by row expert, I think. So when you buy the kit for the row, you get this panel. If you are just getting the pattern and you want to use your own,
you get all the fabrics.
Oh, well, yes,
with the kit, but including that special custom printed panel as well.
So for those who want to use their own fabric, they just want the free pattern.
Right. You can come in and get the pattern.
Use whatever fabric you want. And then we have in the pattern, this drawing is there so you can trace it and use it yourself with regular applique or even embroidery,
or skip it entirely if you really don't like, you don't want to do that. It's your block.
So when you buy the kit, you get you get it to look exactly like our sample.
Right.
Also, it's just easier.
Yes.
You don't have to figure out the applique
so it
yourself.
comes with the pre-printed panel. It comes with fusible for the picnickers and the tree line, plus the pattern, of course, and all the fabric exactly as you see here. So.
Oh, Ellen is mentioning that she doesn't see comments by Lori. Ellen, we are streaming to both Facebook and YouTube. So I see that you're on YouTube. You aren't going to see comments that are made on Facebook, but I can see them both. So sorry if I'm confusing you. So Lori has been commenting on the Facebook side. And she said, I love it.
Yep, Hank's got it there.
Okay, back to what we were saying. So this is our 2023 row by row kit. We are allowed to start giving them out, the patterns out in store, or shipping kits or selling kits in store.
Yes.
Starting June 1st.
Right.
So we've already set this product up on our website as a pre-order. And I'm about to put the QR code on the screen here.
I know I had someone in the store today. I had it laid out on the table working on it this afternoon, and someone came by and he's like, "Where is this? I didn't see this on the website." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry.
It's brand spanking
You have
new.
to wait till June 1st. I can't sell it to you now."
Actually, I just realized that if I put the QR code up, it's going to give away the next thing we're going to talk about. So, okay, hold. So this is the Row by Row 2023 kit. We are allowed to ship it June 1st. We're going to start taking pre-orders today. But, we couldn't just leave well enough alone.
Of course not.
So.
And when did we start? Yesterday?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so yesterday, Yvette was like, well, what if we put all the rows we've done together and make a quilt out of that?
Because for like a couple of years, I've been thinking that
I think
some
we
of
always
our
have,
previous rows were really
but we
cool.
so if people, 2016 was the first year we did
yes, it was Home Sweet Home.
and we did a row with firescapes because that was the Home Sweet Home. So this was our row,
and this one was the first one when we first had a store, and it was such a hard theme because when you think of the phrase Home Sweet Home, you don't really think of New York.
We thought of this instantly, though.
I thought of this. Yes.
All right. Well, we don't need to get into it.
But it was hard because it's like Home Sweet Home has a very like country like house vibe, right? And in New York, we live in apartments, and
we don't have that.
Most of us don't have this like cozy idea about our homes, right?
But what we almost all have are firescapes.
And then this is where the quilter lives. Her quilt is on the firescape. Not that any of us would actually do that because your firescape is gross. Usually. But for the representation, then that's how you know where the quilter lives, right?
So that was our very first row.
Yep, and it was foundation paper
Way
piece.
back when.
So we taught a lot of people how to do foundation paper piecing because of this design, right? So this was 2016, and by the way, we
this is
still
the
sell
third version of this one that we made.
Fabric-wise, yeah.
We've gone through a couple.
By the way,
keep discontinuing fabrics, but that's another story.
We do sell all these older kits still. So if you go to the website and you look at Row by Row, you can still get this kit. This
with these fabrics, kit. Actually, we still have these.
Right, exactly. So this was 2016. What was 2017?
2017 was the subway. So I don't remember what on the go.
On the go.
That's it. It was on the go. So this was.
And I remember this year there was a lot of tractors. Other stores around the country did a lot of tractors for this theme.
So ours, of course, is the subway because that's how we all get around.
How do we New Yorkers get around, right? Every day we pretty much ride. Yeah. Well, pre-pandemic for sure. Yes. Every day you were on the subway.
And this is at least the third, if not fourth, version of this we've done.
And this one we decided to not do foundation paper piecing because not everybody likes foundation paper piecing, right?
So this one has a big cutting chart with lots of letters and labels telling you what to cut. If you've ever done an Elizabeth Hartman pattern, it's very similar to that. It's kind of based off of how she writes her patterns.
And we did keep the details pretty minimal so that it wouldn't be so intimidating to piece.
So this also has a pre-printed panel that comes with it with the Uptown 34th
these little
Street
details
and 6th Avenue local signs, which you could also embroider or, just get a fabric marker or something if you wanted to.
And for the previous year's rows, we don't, what was that? Was that your mic?
Yeah.
Her mic just fell down. Sorry.
Stand by.
Oh, Hank is saying it's backwards. It's because the computer's mirrored, isn't it? Hold on. Let's switch.
Uh-oh. I think I need a battery.
Did you lose your?
Yes.
We got technical difficulties. Who was surprised?
There we go. You got to put the batteries in the right way for it to work.
And maybe don't drop your mic to begin
it does. No, it might.
Ooh, it's red. I don't think I've ever seen it be red before.
Let me get some more batteries. I'll be right back.
Anyway, back to this. Hank pointed out that it was backwards, and it's because I had the camera mirrored. For those of you who don't broadcast, when we mirror the camera, it's much easier for us to understand what's happening because this is me raising my right hand, and it looks like I'm raising my left hand, right? So when I'm trying to hold something up, if the camera is mirrored, it behaves the way I think it would behave, but any text that's on the screen would be backwards. So that I just unmirrored the camera so that you can see that the text is not actually backwards. This text is correct on the sample. It just was backwards in the video because I had the camera mirrored. So anyway, this was the 2017 row. And this was actually, I think, one of the more popular ones. People really enjoyed the Subway.
Yeah, I think so.
And we sold lots of this kit, and
we're still selling
offer it.
Yeah.
And just so you can see the back, it's just regular piecing. And yeah, some of these pieces are quite, whoops, I just put it in
narrow.
the wrong spot. Some of these pieces are pretty small, but it's not hard. It's all
you should have seen
lines.
The original version.
Oh, right.
This is the simplified version.
Yeah, there was at the very beginning when Andrea first.
Yeah, I sent her a picture and she was just like, what is wrong with you?
So there were little corners in the windows.
Yeah, every single, and they were all curved.
Like an eighth of an inch corner. And like we had a whole long conversation.
And I think these were narrower too. I don't remember.
We had this whole long conversation and she was like, but then it won't look like a Subway. And I was like, no one's gonna make it if you have like pieces that are less than an eighth of an inch.
She was right.
And it totally still looks like a Subway, right?
So now it's her job when I show her patterns to be like,
delete half of it.
Yeah, exactly. Too complicated. Take all these things out. And I was like, okay, thank you. That's what
okay. So that was 2017. What was 2018?
I think it was the Jazz Man. I think it was So Musical.
Right. So the theme for 2018.
Musical, SEW musical.
So the row by row people cannot seem to help themselves from overcomplicating things.
No, it's not overcomplicated. Oh no, this is when they changed the format. Yes. So you're probably noticing it's not a row.
This is a square, right? And the previous two were long and skinny. In this year, they introduced the concept of different shapes. And they called this one the Foxy Boxy. It was 18 inches square.
Yeah, so it'll still fit. If you put two 18s together, you get 36. And
right.
So
like
forth.
Two of these rows this way would fit.
Yeah.
But that's why 2018 is a square, was because this was an option for 2018's theme. The theme was So Musical, so we did a jazz man playing against a backdrop of the skyline.
Because when I think of New York City and music, jazz is the first thing that I think
Yeah,
of.
I mean the birthplace of jazz, right?
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, so that's why this one's square. And I love this one. We use the same concept, this pre-printed panel.
Right. So the man himself is
I did the same thing.
So just a silhouette.
When you get the kit from us, there's a piece of fabric printed with the jazz man on it. All you do is you fuse it and you cut it out and then fuse it again. So you don't have to transfer the pattern. You don't have to try to draw.
Yeah, trace that man. You can, if you don't have the kit, it is in the pattern.
It's also really almost impossible to put it backwards, which happens all the time when you're tracing applique, is you trace it and then you flip it over and you're like, oh my God, this is upside down. Right?
Which is actually, I did think of that for the summertime one, the tree line that is printed in the pattern is reversed. So that if you were trying to copy it onto the back of the applique, you can just copy it straight. You don't have to try to reverse it in your mind.
Okay, so that was 2018.
2019 was
Taste the Experience.
Taste the Experience.
Which was a very strange concept for a theme.
So yeah, this was one of our trickier ones
to come up with. Yeah, so like I was looking up why New York City is called the Big Apple. And it turns out it comes from horse racing, that it was like a term used in the, 40s for horse racing. It was like, take the Big Apple was like when those.
Oh, the whole, like winning the whole thing.
Yeah, like there was like 3 racetracks and it was like a whole big thing. And that's where it was coined. And then it grew from there. So that's how we came up with using an apple because, taste. And then we did embroidery on this because that was the year that we were like obsessed with embroidery.
Yeah, we were getting into it. So the apple itself, the apple stem and leaf are, again, raw edge applique. Although I think I did stitch around them because they were so big, it wasn't that hard to do. And then hand embroidery of the skyline.
And when we sell this kit, you get everything. You get not only all the fabrics used, but also the interfacing and the
transfer paper.
Transfer paper to draw the embroidery on.
So you can trace the embroidery directly onto the fabric.
And the embroidery thread.
Yes. So you get it all there.
All right, so that was 2019. 2020.
We don't have.
We didn't bring upstairs because we
can't sell it anymore.
Well, not even because of that, because we didn't use it in the thing we're about to show.
Yes, that's true.
2021
was
Pop of Color.
Oh, that's right.
And that's this one.
So pop of color, gray city, yellow taxis.
So basically, buildings again, and these are assembled traditional piecing, super easy.
yeah, this one's very simple.
And then the taxi is again pre-printed on
I should
fabric.
have brought those up too. But,
Which
the
the
taxis
panels,
and
yeah.
the jazz band.
But when you buy the kit from us, you get this taxi. And by the way, look at the license plate.
Because we're fabric nerds.
It's a fabric nerd. Oh, the Big Apple. Lola says the Big Apple design is so cool. Thank you. I'm going to put that on the thing. Since not everyone can see all the comments, I'm going to start putting them on the screen. So this was, what year did I just say this was? 2021? Taste the
Yes.
Experience. And then last year, they didn't run it.
Yeah, there wasn't one last year.
I'm not entirely sure why it wasn't run last year. They didn't really communicate, and it seemed
Right.
like maybe Row by Row had died
Right.
at that point. And then this year, it was like, surprise, we're back. And they went back to the original, simpler.
Yes. So
thing.
this was our only option, was a 9x36 row.
The shape is simplified. The rules are simplified. The sell-by dates are simplified.
Yes.
So I think that they kind of went full circle. Like they tried to make it more
versatile.
Yeah.
More options, and now we're back to the beginning where
Just
this is what
more
you do,
simple.
take it or
Yeah.
leave it.
And that's why it's called row by row, right? You're collecting the patterns and making rows, and then eventually you have a quilt. You can put these rows together. Some of the rows will be horizontal and some of them will be vertical, depending on the design from the store. And actually some stores do such not representational designs that you could rotate it yourself. Even if they mean for it to be horizontal, you could do it vertical if it's just like pinwheels or whatever it is. And then you can figure out how you want to shape it in order to make a finished quilt.
But yeah, we didn't even have the option of doing it vertical this year. Just
Really?
horizontal. Nope.
I didn't notice that detail.
Not that we were going to do it any other way anyway.
Right,
but
because I had this idea, the Central Park
like
idea. I
immediately.
was like, summertime, Central Park, laying on a blanket. So why did we show you all of these? We showed you all of these because for a couple years now, I've had this idea of putting all these together into something because we did all this work already, right? And it's like when a lot of times when people look at these kits, they go, well, what am I going to do with this row, right? Like,
and we've actually, people have sent us some projects where they've put them together themselves, which have come out really nice. I've seen some really good ones.
And this shape actually works pretty good as like a bolster pillow. If you just want to make one of these, add a border, add a backing, put some stuffing in, it's like a pretty decent pillow. But otherwise, it's kind of like, what do I do with this thing? Right. So what we did is we combined them all into a new throw.
Yes.
And we're calling the new quilt. Oh, I just realized it's not on my screen. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see this. I think it's pretty good.
So we're launching this today. We are naming it the Midtown Quilt Kit. And here it is. If you look at this a little closer, you'll see that it's basically all the rows that we just showed you, right? So right in the middle is the 2023. What was it called again? Summertime?
Summertime. Under that is the streets, the taxi. Below that underground is the subway.
Yep. So this was the taxi row.
Which was actually a square originally, but I took it apart and sewed it back together.
Right, we had this as boxy too,
yeah,
right?
it was a boxy one.
And then you'll see that on our mock-up, some of the colors are changed.
Yeah,
right?
so we've updated the colors, made them a little bit more cohesive so that they can all work, be friends together.
Because when we designed each of these rows, they weren't intended to go together because the rest of them didn't exist.
Yeah, we didn't
much
know
less
about them.
So when
also, a lot of these fabrics don't exist anymore either, so that's another.
So when we, Anne is asking if we will sell the pattern only. We will not be selling the pattern only. This is an exclusive kit. You can only get it from us. If you want to make this, you got to buy the kit. Sorry.
I hadn't even thought about doing it as pattern only.
But what I was going to say is you'll notice, like if I hold this up, this doesn't exactly match the row that's on the big quilt. And that's because
pretty close, but doesn't match. Sorry.
You're like Hazel.
Go ahead.
So the fabric that is the subway car and then that like safety stripe that was yellow, those are different fabric colors in this this quilt, right? And we did that so that the different pieces would go together better than if we had used, you know, what is in here.
I don't know that anyone would want a quilt that was all these
No, it wouldn't have made any
colors.
sense, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah, it
we
would look
made
like
it,
you just threw a bunch of stuff together.
Yep. I think a good difference to point out, like if you look at where the apple is, we picked on this version to have the apple's background color be the same color as the sashing that goes around all the other blocks, which gives that middle apple a totally different representation in the quilt. It looks like it's floating.
You sort of lose the block and
Right.
you just see the apple and the skyline.
It looks like it's floating in the air, which would not have happened if we had kept, I mean, this is a black background, it's a grunge, but even that would have shown up more, right? So we chose to make it have this central focal point by putting it on the same fabric that we're using as the background, and it is a almost black. The color is called Licorice. It's from Confetti Cottons, which is one of the lines of solids that we stock. So you can picture pretty much black, but not quite black.
And this one you'll notice is very different.
Right.
So this, we're changing the sky to the same sky as is in the park.
Right. So like this one was like a sunset sky,
right?
Whereas that's like a daytime sky.
Yeah. So that one is very different. And then the
Home Sweet Home.
Yeah, the Home Sweet Home one you'll notice is also pretty different. The background will change. The firescape will change, and the actual quilt will change.
Oh, yeah.
We did find another fabric that looks very quilt-like.
I'm going to stop sharing this so you can see this, because I don't think we mentioned this. We said that for this road, like this is where the quilter lives, right? But did I mention that this is not pieced? This is just a piece of fabric.
Yeah, nobody wants to piece that. So that's a print.
We found a print that looked like a quilt, and that's what we put in the kit. And the same thing is happening with this bigger quilt that we're doing a throw size for. We didn't bring that one up,
of course.
but it looks like a quilt.
Yeah, can we zoom in a little bit?
Oh, maybe I can. Let's see. Okay, zoom in.
I mean, that's better.
Oops, that got smaller somehow. So this little guy here, if you can see where my mouse is moving, that's just a piece of fabric. So don't panic. You do not have to piece teeny weeny little things to make that little baby quilt.
We're trying to avoid all of that.
Okay. So what do you think? Do you like it? We're pretty excited about it. And we are going to start taking pre-orders for this now, but it won't ship on June 1st.
Right. Since we just designed it yesterday, today, it's going to take a little time to get some of the fabrics in, to cut, all of that stuff.
So the 2023 row kit will start shipping June 1st.
Yeah, those are ready.
But this bigger kit will start shipping probably closer to the end of the month of June.
We'll do it as soon as we can. But we're going to say the end of June and then hopefully it'll be sooner.
So I'm going to put the QR code on the screen now and stop sharing this thing. So if you'd like to pick up any of these kits that we've shown you today, you can scan this QR code and that'll take you to the page on our website that has all of this row by row related stuff. So we have the kits from the previous years. We also have this thing called a license plate, which is again a pre-printed piece of fabric that on ours,
Fabric Nerd.
It says Fabric Nerd. Of course, it says Fabric Nerd, right? So there's some coordinating things that you can pick up at the same time. Or maybe you just want, this row by itself. We have that available too. And we can't wait to see people start making these.
I am pretty excited.
I have this idea about making this new kit, but more like monochromatic, because for my apartment, like I kind of want to hang it above my couch, and I think there might be a little too much going on.
We were trying to keep the colors, as you can see here, in the ones that already exist, there's a lot of colors in them already. And that was just going to be too much for one quilt.
Then it starts looking a little childish.
Well, we have actually most of them right here.
Oh, right. These are the fabrics.
So, I'll just pull this over. So these are the fabrics.
We can't see you now.
Yeah, you don't need to see me. So we have our grays here, we have some of our blues, and then our greens from the grass and the tree line. So these will be the majority. Actually, probably these will be the majority on a black background, but then just the pops of the red for the apple, green, the sky. Yeah, I guess it's still these. That's just,
And
yeah,
it's like
it's
not
just
really
the red.
that red. It's more like a
It's a soft
corally,
red.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not pink,
Right.
but it's, yeah, I would say a soft red,
Yeah.
so that it's not too jarring with these other
And
colors.
also not too primary. If we had
Also
done like
that,
red,
yeah.
red, it would have again kind of looked
So
childish.
it's not a red. It's a soft red, so that it works a little bit
Dale
better.
is asking what the size of the quilt is. That's a
Good
very
question.
smart question, and I didn't mention it. It's 64 inches square, which is a really nice throw size. Or if you're going to hang it above your couch, this is bigger than that. I think this one is 72 or 70. So you can imagine. Yeah.
So those look like those are at least 18-inch blocks.
So it's even
18 times
bigger.
4.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's 64 inches square
Sure.
is the size. Hank is asking, how do you make the line drawings of the buildings over the apples? Those are hand embroidered, just like in the little row, wherever that is.
So in the pattern, it comes with a line drawing and a transfer paper. So you just put the transfer paper between your fabric, once you've already put the applique on. Put the transfer paper between, and then the pattern on top, and then you just trace over the lines, and it will transfer those lines on to the fabric.
And then you hand embroider.
And then the transfer does eventually wipe off. It's a white transfer so that you can actually see it
I
on
love
top
that transfer
of-
paper. It's like that old fashioned like carbon paper, but not gross and
but chalky,
yeah, exactly.
so that it actually rubs
doesn't
off.
leave everything dirty.
Right, exactly. But you can see it on the red and the black well enough to embroider it.
Oh, Lola's asking this question that we're just talking about. The embroidery is done by hand, Lola.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, adapted to different cities.
Ooh, that could be cool.
I never thought of that either.
No.
I guess the apple might be a little weird for other cities, but maybe not. You
Right.
can change
So,
it.
I mean, maybe it's like in Florida, it would be like a banana or
a
something,
palm tree.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's isn't Boston like Bean Town or something? You could just put a bean shape.
I don't think that would work.
No, I don't know that it would either, but it sounded kind of funny. I could also be wrong, and it's not. It's Boston.
Yes, there is. So Sandra's asking what kind of piecing is it, right? It's actually a combination of everything.
Most of it is traditional piece.
There's regular machine piecing. There's foundation paper piecing. There's applique.
Right. All raw edge applique, though. There's no needle turn. It's all very
Machine.
basic applique. And then this is the only row that is foundation paper piece, because you can't get these tiny little narrow
These really are really small.
railings. They are 1/4 of an inch wide finished. So you don't want to be doing that any other way. At least I don't. So the two apartment buildings on the sides, those are foundation paper piece, but pretty much everything else is regular piecing with applique accents.
Yep. And like we made the applique as easy as we could.
Yeah, I simplified those picnic people so you don't have to like cut out a foot that's sticking off the blanket. Tried to tuck everything as much as I could, so make it a little easier.
Lola's mentioning doing like a collage of several cities. That's absolutely the point of row by row.
Yes.
That you pretend you're doing a road trip cross country. As you go, you collect rows, and then at the end, you'd put them together into a quilt.
Exactly. And then you have a memory of your road trip. You have the best kind of souvenir you could possibly have, a quilt that comes out of it.
Yep. And like all the shops, every shop has different inventory, right? Like there's just so much on the market. We can't carry everything. So you do get to see a lot of different perspectives and inventory and stuff. So it's really fun visiting.
It is. Yeah. And there's some shops come up with really good ones. I haven't seen very many this year, to be honest. I haven't gone out and looked, but in the past, like there's stores that are just known for their
the ones I've
really
seen
good
so far
ones.
tend to have a lot of flowers and birds, which makes sense because summer,
Yeah, that works.
Yep.
Yeah, the Home Sweet Home one had a lot of bird houses, I remember.
Oh, you're right.
That was like, I don't know why, but like almost everyone did a birdhouse.
Yep. And then there's some stores that have their own themes, right? Like there's a store I think it's called like Dragonfly Quilts. So they always have dragonflies on theirs, which makes sense, right? Just like we're Gotham Quilts, so we have New York.
Exactly. Yep. But that's what's so great about it, is because you get a taste of all these different areas and shops that really make it their own. Beach scenes.
Laura's saying she's seeing beach
Makes
scenes.
sense. Yep. That's a good one
that's
for
pretty summer.
Yeah.
I guess we could have done beach because there is beach here in New York City, but I don't know that most people go to the beach.
It's also not as New York.
That's what
I
I'm
don't-
saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you mean like it's not only New York.
Right.
You could get a beach anywhere.
Right.
Yep. It's a good trip.
Yeah.
Good
And I
point.
mean, yes, there are other cities
Ooh,
with
maybe
parks.
if we did like a beach, but you were looking into the island.
Oh, that could be, but that's
So-
more New Jersey.
Or Staten Island.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, Staten Island is still New York, of course, but
Yes.
like it's just not most people's New York.
Right.
Anyway, now we're just rambling.
Which we do a lot.
No, we don't. We're so professional and
Oh yeah, we're
prepared.
right on script.
The point of all of this is that Row by Row starting
Next week.
next week, because I
know.
cannot believe that it's the end of May. Speaking of, after Memorial Day, our store hours are switching to summer hours. We'll be open for walk-in shopping Thursday through Saturday. We're currently open Tuesday through Saturday through this week, and then next week new hours start.
So we can spend some time in the park or at the beach.
I might just take a nap.
Well, that too.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
a day-long nap.
I'm still going to be working all day, but but maybe I can work in the park.
Yeah, or I can go on my patio.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, Row by Row starts June 1st. You can walk into the store, any store that's participating with Row by Row. And again, I will put the link in the comments to go to the Row by Row website. You can find a list. You can make like a map for yourself of all the stores that you want to hit. When you walk into a store that's participating Row by Row, you say, hey, I'm doing Row by Row. Can I have a pattern? And they'll hand you the pattern for their row.
And most of the shops, I think, if not all of the shops, have posted their rows probably on Facebook, I'm assuming.
This year, Row by Row upped their website.
Oh,
So you can
it's on their
actually see the
website.
rows
Oh,
for
there you
each
go.
shop on
So
their
you can,
website.
see what, before you go, see which ones you really want. Make sure you hit those shops.
Yeah. So when you walk in, you just say, I'd like a Row by Row pattern, and we'll hand you one. Or pretty much every store also sells kits. That way you can have the exact row the way they imagined it with the exact fabric. And in our case, with these upgrades, which is the pre-printed panel, which does save you a lot of time.
It is one per person for the
free
free pattern. So
yeah.
you can't, you couldn't come here and get 10 for all of your friends and take them home. The point is you have to actually come to the store.
Yep.
That's not saying you couldn't come on 10 different days and get 10 different ones.
Or just bring your 10 friends.
But
That's better.
Right, exactly. Just bring your 10 friends.
Yep.
You can buy as many kits as you want, though. That is,
Oh, that's a good hint.
That's
Come and buy 10 kits
and
for
this
your
is all the
friends.
rules. These are not our rules. These are the Row by Row rules.
Oh, and one more detail is our kit. You'll see if you click the link and go see all the different kits, you'll see that the price for the previous years is $10 more than the price for this current year, the 2023 year. And that's because during the summer, the pattern for this row is free. So the kit for this row has a pattern in it that we don't charge for during the summer because that's part of the promotion. Once the summer period is over, the price of the kit goes to full price, which is $29.99 instead of $19.99. So in case anyone has that confusion when they they scan this QR code and they see all of them, that might be the end of that. I'll put the quilt back up because I am obsessed. It is so great, and I am really, I think it's going to work. I think people are going to make this, and it's going to look really good.
I think so.
And it's such a good gift, too.
Row by row, row by throw.
Row by throw. It's like, we know so many people who've left New York. It's such a great gift for somebody who used to live in New York.
And I mean, everybody knows, it seems like anyway, everyone knows someone that used to live in New York or loves visiting New York or came from New York.
Yep. Or like hopes to one day move to New York.
Yep, that too.
Yeah, it's, I think this is going to be a good one. And we're going to make a sample for the store. So at some point we'll show you the finished one too. But
absolutely, yes.
We didn't quite have time since.
And I think if you wanted to make this a bed size quilt, you could easily just increase the borders.
Oh, I think that would look great.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a problem because 60, so a queen size mattress is 60 by 80. So that 60 inches would just fit right on the top of the bed. Right. And then you just have the borders on the sides. That would look great.
Yep. Or you could do some piecing.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. You could do all kinds of. Oh yeah. Maybe we're okay.
So this
we didn't have the time to think further than the throw size.
This is why we get in trouble and we never finish anything. Is because as we're working on something, then it's
what if we do this?
Now we have to make the queen size version, and now we,
And then this other thing that I'm supposed to be working on doesn't get done.
Yeah, Sharon's saying if someone wants a piece of New York hanging
Yep.
in their home, then this is a good way to give them that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. I think that we've said plenty
Before we get
today.
more ideas, we should shut this down.
Yeah, and you all have no idea how many other ideas we have in the queue. We have this like
Oh,
document
gosh.
where it's like one day we're going to do this and one day we're going to do this.
But new things keep coming out. It's like,
Yes.
oh, let's do this.
And because so much of our industry is only available temporarily, right? Like a new fabric might be coming out and we know we can only
Right.
use this fabric for these 6 months.
Yep.
It will not be available after that. So it's like whatever was on the list
Gets
that was
bumped back.
supposed to be done in June gets, and this is
Mhm.
an example of that actually. It's like we did not plan to launch a new
Yeah.
throw size kit, but we knew that we had a
I'll
deadline
just
to
add that
launch
to my
this.
plate. Yes.
And then it was like, oh, well, we can't just do the thing we have to do. We must make it better. And truly, I think we did make it better.
I think we did too.
yeah.
Yeah. I hope the other 2 big projects that I'm supposed to be working on can also be as good as this, but we'll find out.
Lori's saying she'll be by after June 1st. I hope we see lots of you.
Yes. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people we still haven't seen since 2019.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, come on in. If you haven't been here for a while, come on in. We'd love to see you.
That's it for today. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, and we will talk about something else that we maybe will have made up.
I have an idea of what it'll be.
Oh, okay.
but
I don't. She didn't tell me.
That's
yet.
just an idea.
Thanks, everybody. See you next
Bye.
time.